What if the album that made ZZ Top heavier, dirtier, and more confident was also the album that nearly kept them stuck as a regional band forever? That's the question we're answering today as we take a deep dive into Rio Grande Mud, which is ZZ Top's second album from 1972, an album that doesn't always get the spotlight but plays a big role in their story. Before I get into the album itself, I want to talk briefly about my personal connection with ZZ Top. Like a lot of people who grew up in the 80s, I first knew ZZ Top because of MTV. Songs like Sharp Dressed Man, Legs, Give Me All Your Lovin', those were all over MTV. The videos, the beards, the cars, that version of ZZ Top was impossible to avoid. But for a long time, I didn't realize how deep their catalog really was. I knew the hits, but not the journey. It wasn't until much later I started exploring their early albums, and I owned the box set that includes all of these records up until Recycler from 1990. And I haven't spent a lot of time with these box sets, but definitely cool and something I have been listening to recently. So that's why I'm doing these videos. So this video series is going to be me going back and revisiting ZZ Top from the beginning, album by album, all the way to their success in the 80s. And today we're on their second album called Rio Grande Mud. When this album was released in 1972, ZZ Top were still very much a working band. Their debut album, ZZ Top's first album, which is right here, I did a video on this as well, had introduced everyone to the Texas blues rock scene, but nationally, they were pretty much invisible. The second album came with pressure, has that classic sophomore slump problem. They needed to prove they weren't just another regional blues band playing standard 12-bar patterns. At the same time, they couldn't abandon what made them ZZ Top in the first place. So instead of reinventing themselves, they doubled down. They went heavier, they went dirtier, and they focused hard on tightening their sound. One of the biggest goals was during the making of Rio Grande Mud was tone, especially Billy Gibbons' guitar tone. Gibbons was obsessed with achieving what he had often called a thick or brown sound. Studio technology in 1972 wasn't exactly friendly to massive guitar tones, especially for a three-piece band. So he began experimenting heavily with layered guitar tracks and leaned into his now legendary 1959 Gibson Les Paul called the Pearly Gates. The result is an album that sounds bigger than it should. It doesn't feel like a trio trying to fill space. It feels like a band learning how to hit harder without losing their groove. Even with a stronger sound, the band still faced serious limitations. London Records didn't quite know how to market ZZ Top. They looked like a psychedelic cowboys, but played blues-based hard rock. Radio play outside the South was limited, and touring was brutal. They played cowboy bars and small clubs where the audience was often more interested in drinking or fighting than listening to the music. But that grind shaped the album. Rio Grande Mud captures the live energy they struggled to translate on their first record. It's heavier, swampier, and more confident. Commercially, the sound did better than their debut. ZZ Top's first album didn't chart at all, but Rio Grande Mud broke them into the Billboard 200 and peaked at number 104. Not very impressive for today's standards, but for a Texas blues band in 1972, it really made a difference. The album also gave them their first charting single. Francine reached number 69 on the Billboard Hot 100. They even recorded a Spanish language version of the song, leading into their border rock identity. Smart move they hadn't really tried before. So with that being said, I'm going to go track by track, and the opening track is the aforementioned the Francine, and right away you hear that confidence on this record. It's classic Texas boogie rock, tight, catchy, and built for radio. Straightforward rocker about a girl named Francine, but the groove is undeniable. Dusty Hill's vocal work is perfectly here, and the band sounds locked in. It's not the deepest song, but it's important. It was their first real taste of radio success, and it showed they could write a song that connected beyond the local scene. But the next song, Just Got Paid, is the crown jewel of the album. It's a blues-based southern rock classic with an unforgettable slide guitar riff. You can easily imagine bands like Leonard Skinner being influenced by this sound. Dusty Hill's bass playing is fantastic here. Thick, driving, melodic, Billy Gibbons slide work elevates the song into something special. Even though Francine was a hit, this became the enduring track. It's been covered by artists ranging from Joe Bonamassa to metal band Mastodon, so it's a really good song. But then we get to track number 3, Mushmouth Shoutin', and it feels like a throwback to that early 1920s blues. It's raw, stomping, rooted in traditional blues structures. The harmonica, the rhythm, the overall vibe make it sound like something that could have been played on a wooden porch many decades earlier. It shows how deeply connected ZZ Top were to blues history. Cocoa Blue keeps the blues foundation but adds more upbeat boogie rock feel. It's lively, rhythmic, easy to move to. The track shows the band learning how to modernize. The band is finally finding out how to play traditional blues without losing its soul. Chevrolet is another Texas boogie rocker. It leans heavily on slide guitar. The groove is infectious. Gibbons playing has that dirty, greasy feel that would become a ZZ Top trademark. It's a solid closer to side 1 and keeps the album's momentum strong. Now we're moving on to side 2, and this starts with an instrumental. The song is called Apologies to Pearlie, which, as I mentioned before, is the name of his guitar. It's an instrumental, and it's a showcase for Billy Gibbons. The slide guitar work is expressive and relaxed, gives the album a moment to breathe. It's not flashy, just tasteful and bluesy. Barbecue kicks things back into high gear. It's a harder rocking blues track with an upbeat rhythm. A fantastic guitar moment around the 1 minute and 20-second mark, and that really stands out. It's fun, energetic, feels like something designed to hit hard in a live setting. Sure Got Cold After the Rain was one of the more emotional moments on the album. It's a slower blues-based ballad with soulful vocals and expressive guitar playing. The mood is reflective and the performance feels genuine. The track proves ZZ Top weren't just about boogie and swagger. They could slow things down and deliver real feeling. Whiskey and Mama brings back that upbeat blues rock. The guitar tone is dirty and distorted. Drumming is energetic and the whole track feels just very energetic and fun. The album closes with Down Brownie, another upbeat blues track. It's a fitting closer, it's raw, it's energetic, grounded in the blues. There's no grand finale here, just a confident band ending a record on their own terms. So where does Rio Grande Mud sit in ZZ Top's catalog? In my opinion, it's a step up from the first album. The band is tighter, heavier, more confident. They're clearly solidifying their sound, even if they haven't really perfected it yet. But I think that perfection would come on the next album called Tres Hombres. That's where everything really clicks, and that's when ZZ Top really become legends. But without Rio Grande Mud, that breakthrough probably would have never happened. So to answer the question from the beginning of the video, this album didn't break ZZ Top. It was the risky, gritty turning point that kept them moving forward instead of fading away, being just another regional blues band. If you enjoyed this deep dive, check out the ZZ Top playlist, which is appearing on the screen right now. I will be continuing this series with the next album, Tres Hombres, and all the ones after that, up to Recycler. If you like the video, hit the like button, subscribe, let me know in the comments what do you think of this album. Is it underrated, or is it like one of their hidden gems? So thanks for watching. I will see you in the next one.